All right, now let's go for the feminine and masculine energy, the yin and yang energy. This is what we're going to be talking about today. The short webinar on masculine and feminine energy, the yin and yang, the ways to activate, channel your inner goddess, and to inspire your inner magic man. Okay, now what does that mean? So what this topic of this webinar started off from one of my balancing tips. I think it was tip number 3 in the 9 of my 9 tips for balance. You can find that video in our video archive. There's 2-part video, which was talking about balancing our inner and our inner feminine and masculine energies. So for us to operate as from our highest potential, for us to reach our flow state, we must balance these energies that we have, because we have both, yeah, feminine and masculine energy, yeah, and balancing them is very important so that we can have that flow state. If they're out of balance, you're out of flow state. So I will do my best tonight to give you some, first of all, some useful understanding of the 2 energies. Then we will go through how do we apply them for our own flow state. And then we will go through how do we apply them, how we apply these tips and this understanding so that we can relate better with the men in our lives or with the women in our lives, yes? So that we can have better flowing connections. First and foremost, my lovelies, let's move into talking a little bit about what is feminine and what is masculine of our energy. What are they in charge of, right? Well, how do we distinguish between feminine energy and masculine energy? And to explain that better, I am going to use the very easy analogy of a man and a woman, yes? And so, because we understand this a lot easier. Oh, hello, Tereshka, welcome. We have just had a short meditation. And we are just about to start now the yin and yang, feminine and masculine energy. If you want to know about the competition going on, please come back on the replay and watch the very beginning. We talked about it there. Okay, so we're about to start talking about feminine and masculine energy, and how do we distinguish between the feminine and the masculine. And one way I find very sort of easy to relate to is imagining our inner feminine and our inner masculine as a woman and a man, yeah? So as we're imagining that, okay, let's distinguish what the feminine energy is doing and what the masculine energy is doing. So masculine energy is primarily about providing, yes. The feminine energy is primarily about receiving, yeah. The feminine is the container in which the masculine provides, yeah. Now we can relate to this biologically as well, yeah. We will understand what that means, yes. So the feminine is responsible with creating that beautiful container, that receptive, attractive container for the masculine to provide into, okay? Now, what are the ways we can look at this to better understand it? Let's imagine how we originally designed by going back to the prehistoric times for the caveman and cavewoman, yes? So now let's look at some of their qualities that have been programmed within us, because we are under the underlayers of that animal human, yeah. So we've got that animalistic instinct, that survival instinct, and so that's that's got both the masculine and the feminine, right? So let's imagine the caveman, yeah. So he is single focused, yeah. So he's not, if he has to be good at single focus, because he's a hunter, right? So he has to be good at being focused on that target and really, really going for it, no matter what else is going on around. Nothing's going to get him distracted, so he can pursue that target and catch it, yeah. Now the feminine, so the cave woman is the gatherer, as they say. So we have the hunter, the man, the caveman, and then we have the gatherer, the cave woman. Okay, so the cave woman, okay, so she's got diffused focused, which means she can focus on many things at the same time, because it's her role to look after the home. So she needs to, for example, when she goes to pick food, yeah, when she would be picking berries from trees, she needs to know immediately which ones. She's very detailed, and she can see many different details all over the place, so she can pick the ones that are good for you, that are good for her family, the ones that are nutritious, not and exclude the ones that are poisonous and avoid those ones, right? So she's got a diffused focus. She's very good at detail, yeah. So the caveman, single focused, on target. The cave woman, diffused focused, details, aware of many things at the same time. Okay, does that sound familiar? So we all have that built in, yes? It's part of our survival mechanism, okay? Now, and from that stems a lot of ways we can distinguish between the feminine and masculine energy, okay? So let me just make sure, because I made some notes here for you. Right, so now looking at the two different energies, let's look at the ones, so those are the caveman and cave woman. Now the modern men and modern women are now evolved, right? So they have the spiritual side added to their animalistic instinct, yeah? So they have the spiritual side, they have the evolved side, so they can, the evolved man can teach himself to have more diffused focus, right? But his primary masculine setting is that of one target, yeah, single focus. Similarly, women nowadays, the nowadays empowered women, hello, we are also able to be single focused when we need it. Yeah, we are also able to go hunt if we need to, because we have taught ourselves to do that. Yeah, it wasn't a natural instinct, but we've learned how to do it. Our natural instinct remains, however, that we still have the natural instinct of the gatherer and diffuse focus, and that of noticing all the details, yes, and having our awareness in many different places at the same time. Now, how is this all helping us when it comes to reaching our balance? When we are too much on, especially feminine women, we have more natural feminine energy, but if we are acting more in our masculine and denying our feminine, we are out of balance, right? So if we the flow state kind of balance, what we want to aim for, the divine masculine and the divine feminine in balance, like in nice sort of working in tandem with each other, yes. And that tone will give you a very easy flow state. How do we do that? Now that's the challenge, okay? And now, in order to know how to balance them, it's good to recognize specifically in our everyday life what type of activities what type of actions, what type of things that we do are feminine, and what are in using our feminine energy, and what type of actions and what types of things that we do are using our masculine energy. Okay, I would say like the biggest one, yeah, would be the doer. We do lots of things, right? The masculine does things. The feminine is just being. Yes, she's nurturing, she's creating that container. He is doing, he's providing into the container. Yeah. So masculine activity would be anything to do with doing stuff. You know, the go-getter, the driven woman. You know, that's going from our masculine energy. Yeah. Please understand, masculine energy and feminine energy, they're both really important for us. Yeah. So that's why we're identifying them now, so that we can balance them. And we will then later talk about how to tweak them in the right time and the right place. Okay. So masculine activities, when we go and do things, when we plan, when we explain, when we set goals. Yeah. Single focused goal. Yeah. Planning, single focused. Yeah. Explaining a certain point, single focused. Yeah. Doing something, I don't know, like driving, single focused, right? Well, women can do it diffused as well, and evolved men, of course. But the actual root of the energy of doing is masculine. Yeah. Okay. Now let's bring forward some activities or some things that we can identify as feminine, as being stemmed from feminine energy. So I would say feminine energy is the energy of enjoying things, of being laid back. So someone in their masculine energy would be here. Yeah, I want, yes, someone in their feminine energy would be more laid back. Yeah. Now you can be there with your body, but you can be laid back with your energy. Yeah. So laid back means I'm enjoying being, and I'm ready to receive. Yeah. So feminine energy, let's think of some things we do when we're in feminine energy. When we're just making ourselves just enjoy a spa, when we're just having a bath, when we're talking to our men and we're trying to inspire them. Yes, we're just being ourselves. When we are shining, when we're smiling, when we're reaching that I'm happy to be me kind of spot, without having to do anything. Yeah, it's just that I'm happy to be here, I'm happy to be me. That is feminine energy. Okay. Now, one question, let's see if anybody is on the call that knows this. What kind of energy is when you're being a mum, when you're like, what's the primary energy behind being a mum? Like this is a trick question, because most people would think that it's mainly feminine energy, and there is some feminine energy in being a mum, in the whole being a mum, but it's mainly driven from masculine energy. So when you spend a lot of time just being a mum, just providing for your kids, so providing is masculine energy. Yeah. So if you're spending a lot of your day, providing for other things, for other people, for your kids, for your family, if you're spending a lot of your day going for your goals at work, and doing things and being on target and keeping on to the time. By the way, feminine energy doesn't have the notion of time. She's just being. Yeah. Masculine energy is being on time, is just really focused. Yeah. If you're spending a lot of time doing all these, using a lot of your masculine energy, so if a lot of your activities are being driven, from your masculine energy, it's likely that you then become less familiar with your feminine energy. Yeah. And then there's an imbalance. And then you will start to feel exhausted, because the feminine energy is the one that takes care of the recharging, the being, yeah, the resting. The masculine is the one that does, yes. When you're out of balance, when you're overpowering your masculine but disempowering your feminine, first of all, as women, as healthy feminine women, who identify as women, as feminine women, when we are denying our feminine, when we are disempowering our feminine and we're over activating our masculine energy, we become hunters. Yeah, we become on masculine. We emanate that masculine energy. Now, ladies, hunters do not ask other hunters out on a date. So, in a relationship with a man, yeah, with a healthy masculine man, you want to bring that the other way around. You want to bring your feminine energy up, yeah, because you want to be the counterpart for him, yeah. If you're masculine as well and he's masculine as well, there's no attraction, yeah. Remember, hunters, gatherers, yeah. Hunters ask gatherers out. Hunters come and provide for the gatherers, yeah. Hunters do not ask other hunters out on a date. Not we're talking about when I'm saying hunters, and so masculine and feminine, we're talking about the healthy masculine energy, men identifying as masculine energy, and women or men identifying as feminine energy, okay? But in this group, so I'm going to use men and women from that concept, okay? All right, so now I will address this point a little bit more. The point where the masculine energy is overused and the feminine energy is kind of overpowered, yeah. So she doesn't really have as many outlets in our daily lives to sort of balance, yeah. So I'm going to address this point because I know majority of you who ask me about this, and majority of you who are in here are go-getters, they're strong women, and most of you are evolved women. Most of you are those amazing women that can make it all happen. Yes, and in our thirst to make it all happen, we sometimes learn from masculine energies, and we think that that's the only way to achieve our goals, by the single focused channel, by the masculine energy, and we do it. Oh my God, I am doing it. I have done it so much. Like, work hard, go for it, keep on top of it, and keep going, keep pushing. If you don't do it, nobody else will do it for you, and so on and so on and so on. And I have achieved so many things. However, I'm here to say that that's not the best way. That's not the easiest way. There is an easier way. It was quite tiring to just keep pushing, because I was out of balance. So it was tiring. I was not allowing my feminine to give me the balance, the other side of the balance. Yes. So I am going to address this bit in more detail here. If you want to know a little bit more about the other side, when you're overly in your feminine, and so you're a bit too laid back, and you're a little bit too sort of not concerned with time, and too out of balance that way, and you'd like to actually go for the things you want and make sure that you bring that masculine energy up as well, so that it's balanced, so you can have you can reach that flow state and have your goals, yeah, have your goals happen easy with that flow, yeah. Then let me know and I can talk more about that too. But at the moment, let's address this bit when the feminine energy, because most of us empowered women, we're familiar with that, when we are really, really, really overusing our masculine energy. Okay, masculine energy is directing, is instructing, is controlling every single detail. It's controlling so that he can get to his target, yeah? single focused. Feminine energy. Now, feminine energy inspires. Masculine instructs, the feminine inspires. What does that mean? So it means that the feminine is responsible with the what and the when. So she just asks, I want this, and I want it then. The masculine is responsible with how to make it happen, how to get it to the target. So the feminine is responsible with setting up that target very clear, yeah, for him. And then he is responsible with making it happen, with controlling every detail on how to get there. Yeah, planning, explaining, strategizing, all of that is masculine energy. Yeah, she is deciding this is what I want, and this is how I want. This is when I want it. The how, she leaves it to him. Now this is where the trust is. And ladies, this is one of the things I find very, very common for all my clients, and this has been an ongoing lesson for me as well, that for every level there's another level of trust that we need to approach. So it's that trusting that the how will be taken care of by the masculine. So when we want to control every single detail, we are using a lot of masculine energy. So we're talking about feminine being the one asking, giving a clear target. There is where I want it, then, yeah. That's what I want, and that's when I want it. And the masculine is the one that deals with the how, okay? Now, if we spend a lot of time in just the how, we get tired, yeah? We don't know what we want. We get distracted because we're just talking, we just strategizing, but we have we have not actually accessed that the balance, or that tone, that really beautiful tone where I know I want this, I'm going to decide I want this, and then I leave it to him, yeah. And I leave it to my masculine. And now your masculine, so you have to trust, is that trust energy, yeah? So not accessing that trust is what trips us most of the time when we're setting our goals, because we are looking at, I would love to have this. This is us, yeah? So this was me. I was not even allowing myself to say I would love to have that, because I was so busy. How is that going to happen? How is that going to happen? How is that? I can make it happen. I can make it happen. So I was not even allowing myself to become clear what my dream is. Yeah. So ladies, number one thing, first and foremost, your feminine energy, use that to connect with your dream. Use that feminine energy to clarify for yourself, to visualize, to envision, to create, to dream, to activate, to imagine, whatever word you need to use it to connect with your big dream. Whatever you need to connect with your big dream, you must allow your feminine energy to set up, to share with you the best, most beautiful, juicy goal down the end of the road, yeah? And only after that, you use your masculine energy to make it happen, to strategize, to plan it, and so on and so forth, okay? So when I work with my clients, like, this is what we do first. First and foremost, we connect with what it is that we want, yeah? Now, ladies, for us, it's not easy to ask for what we want. And this is in real life, yeah, when we're asking of other people. Most of us, I would say, those of you who can do this easily, I salute you. I had to really learn how to do that, and I'm still not always 100% coming to ask. So it's really, really important for us to learn to ask, yeah? At work, learn to delegate. That is leading with the feminine energy as well, bringing that balance, yeah? Doing everything by yourself, masculine. That's why you get tired. Yeah, that's why it gets exhausting, because your feminine doesn't have the time, doesn't have the stage. You don't give her any space, yeah? Right. So, delegate, ask. So, number one, so number one task for this week is for you to practice asking. And now I'm saying asking for anything. If you are someone who asks easily, now practice asking for bigger things. Yeah, even ask for you, ask God, ask the universe, ask the supreme power, ask your higher self for bigger goals, right? If you're someone who's already comfortable asking, yeah. If you're someone who's not so comfortable asking, and that would be, I would say, more of you. So let me know how that resonates. Then start by asking for smaller things. Practice with small things, because that will be easier for you to allow yourself to ask. Yeah, the reason why we don't ask is because we're scared of sort of being rejected, maybe, or because we feel like I should only ask for things that I cannot do by myself. Yeah, so ask even for the things that you can do by yourself. The balance between feminine and masculine, if you are used to overpowering your masculine, you must also create a habit now to bring your feminine in. So it takes practice. Now, like anything that we learn, understanding all of this is amazing. Yes, yes, I got this. I've got it. Now, put it in practice, ladies. It's like understanding how workouts can transform your body, but then not actually going to do any workouts. Yeah, it's not going to help you much unless you apply it. Okay, so some of this information will get activated at the right time, and that will still be useful later on. Unconscious mind is soaking everything anyway. But what we want to be deliberate with creating this balance. So what we want to create this balance where the masculine and feminine are working in tandem, and then we have that flow state, so we can achieve our goals much easier, yeah, with ease and flow. So number one task, learn how to ask. Yeah, and this includes delegating at work. Okay, I know we're coming up to the holidays, and there isn't as much. Maybe a lot of us are off work, but we are still doing, housework. We're still sort of getting ready for Christmas. We're still delegate. Ask people to do things for you. This is feminine energy. Once you become comfortable with that energy, you will have started to bring the balance a little bit better for your feminine. Okay, how else can you do that? Okay, what else can you do for that? Okay, me time, self-care, super important. Boundaries. Feminine energy is massive around boundaries. She is responsible with creating that container. That container has to have strong boundaries so that it can contain, so that it can keep the energy that the masculine is providing into it. Yeah, and so masculine needs to also understand the clear boundaries. Now, this is true for relationships as well, ladies. Women, we are responsible with setting up the boundaries of of how much he's allowed to do, and he loves it. I know this, I don't, but he loves the fact that it's very clear for him. This is where the container is. This is where I need to provide into. So it's very, very important, ladies. Boundaries. This is our responsibility as feminine in a relationship. And now within ourselves, so when we're looking at the balance inside of ourselves between our divine feminine and divine masculine, now the divine masculine is going to want to go and do things, yeah, because we're used to that. We're powerful women, we get things done, yeah. Now we also need to allow the feminine, the divine feminine, to set up those boundaries up to there. That's all you're going to be. Now it's time to rest. Now it's time for me. Now it's time to receive. Yes, masculine is giving, feminine is receiving. Yes, if it's just giving, you're depleted of energy. Recharging, creating that boundary around you, no matter, especially now during the holidays, when you have lots of people sort of that you're going to meet, people that want to see you, people that if family comes over, if you go over to meet your family, if you take your kids with you, if you're buying presents for your husband, you're buying presents for your partner, you're buying presents for your friends. It's all of that giving, yes? Now, ladies, it's very, very important to balance that. Otherwise, you're going to find yourself depleted. And you're going to feel unappreciated. And now I'm coming to another detail. So number 2 task that I want for you to write down and remember to apply is boundaries. Yes, become aware of where your boundaries are and start practicing them one at a time. Yeah. So this week I'm going to practice boundary around my the use of my time. Yeah, I only go do things for other people when I'm already full myself, let's say. I don't know. I only go and do things for other people when on Monday to Friday. Saturday, Sunday is my time. I do that, by the way. Yeah. So find your boundaries. You will feel when you are going against your boundaries, it will feel your divine feminine is going to, oh, I don't like this. And all of the times we enforce our boundaries and we say, I'm so sorry, but I'm so sorry. I'd love to help you, but like I really want some time for myself. And sometimes we lie about it. We say, I'm really busy with something else. Yeah. Now that's your divine feminine saying, this is where your standard is. This is where your boundaries are. And you might as well put them in practice. Yeah. And then comes what we used and the programming that we've been receiving, saying, I'm sorry, and then you feel bad about it, right? So practice enforcing your boundaries so you no longer feel bad about it. And ladies, there is nothing more attractive than a woman with boundaries, with her own boundaries of what people are allowed to do with her, to her, for her. Yeah, there is nothing more attractive than a woman who is strong in her boundaries. And you know why? Because that's a woman who's got a very, very strong container. Now, yes, so she's in charge. So her container is very strong and very stable. And everybody, like all the masculine energy, will be very attracted to that because they know they can provide in there and it will stay. It would fill very easily because the boundaries are stronger and it's holding it. If the boundaries are leaky, if the boundaries are like a sieve, it's going to keep putting in there and it's going to keep going out, right? So that's going to become less and less attractive for him. Yeah. So my ladies, boundaries, practice enforcing it. So being aware what your boundaries are by that tone. Yeah. When you start to feel bad about it, that's actually you going against your feminine, your divine feminine. Yeah. If you feel bad about it, it's because you're going against what you're meant to do. Yeah. So another tip here, and this is for everything, when you are fully aligned, it should always feel good. No matter what you're doing, whether it's feminine, masculine energy, whether it's sort of going for your goals, whether you're dreaming or not. If it feels bad, lovelies, it means you're in misalignment with your higher self, because your higher self will always the goals set up by your higher self will make you feel so excited, will make you feel so good, will make you feel so empowered. And when you are feeling I'm not good enough, or it means you are actually in disagreement with your higher self, okay? Number 3, clear vision. Allow yourself to dream. Visualize what you want in the next year, my lovely. Allow your feminine to fully dream and set up that clear vision of what you want to ask for.